Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So, why am I in the Ford C-Max Hybrid today instead of in my Tesla Model 3? Well, that's what we're going to discuss. So first off, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Matt and this is Tech Forum. On this channel, I discuss primarily the ownership experience of an early VIN long-range rear-wheel drive Tesla Model 3 2018 model. I initially was one of those people that stood in line and for several hours to order my Model 3 a couple years before receiving it. And my VIN is 9,300 and something, in the low 9,300s. And been enjoying the car. I've got 110,000 miles on it. Well, where is my car? If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that I recently had quite a bit of repair work done on it. I had the rocker panels sanded down and repainted, professionally done at a local body shop. Did a very good job on it, make it look perfect again. And then Tesla replaced a number of components in the car related to the steering. It's got a brand new steering rack, forward body control module, steering column position sensor. So the car is in excellent, pristine condition. I love my car. However, Tesla has offered me a good amount of money on trade for it, even though it's got high miles and has one minor little dent in the rear that is an accident against its record that was repaired shortly after I bought it. And being that that Tesla has offered me such a good trade-in allowance, I have decided to go ahead and trade it in. And what did I trade it in on? Well, the thumbnail, obviously, of this video gives that away, and that is I ordered a brand new Performance Model 3. And for this video, I wanted to explain the spec that I ordered and why I ordered the car I ordered and the spec that I did. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that I use my car for work. This is my work shirt, this is my clipboard. I'm actually on my way to my first appliance repair service call for the day. And as such, you would think that a Model Y would suit my needs better. And to a certain extent, it would. However, Tesla had lent me a Model Y for a few days when they were replacing one of the components in my car. So I had a chance to drive it pretty extensively. And the pros and cons to it, I do like the high seating position from a climbing in and out standpoint, and you know, a view out the windshield and that. The added cargo space and having a hatchback is nice for commercial use. However, there's a bunch of reasons why I've decided against a Model Y. One, even though I like that it's the ingress and egress is easy on that car, I prefer a lower seating position. And so also the way it drives, the Model Y doesn't drive poorly by any stretch. But it drives like a crossover would drive, whereas I much prefer the way a car drives, and also the fact that it's got more cargo space and a hatch. You know, I like the hatch, I do. I wish I could get a Model 3 with a hatch, but honestly, I almost never would use it, the cargo capacity. And so the Model 3 it's got the right amount of space, both the front and the trunk. The rear seat for carrying equipment for my business. It is a little less costly than a Model Y, and I like a car. I like something lower. So, and I feel that from an aesthetic standpoint, the Model 3 is better proportioned. So at least, I mean, that's taste is subjective, but that's my taste. Also, in case you're wondering why I ordered a Performance 3 and not just a standard car, a couple things. One, I wanted an all-wheel drive car. We live in Northern Illinois, and there are about probably 10 days a year, something like that, that there's a lot of snow on the roads, maybe more like 2 weeks out of each year, where there's so much snow on the road that, ooh, it gets sketchy to get around, real sketchy, unless you have all-wheel drive. So every year there's several days that I just don't work, and my business grosses about $1,400 a day. So if I can't get out there, it's $1,300 or $1,400 of lost work. And my schedule is so full, it's not like, well, I just reschedule that work for later. I'll end up losing other work. So I don't have available time in my schedule to just reschedule people. It just pushes everything off into the future, which means that I lose work, and ultimately I might recover a little bit from that, but ultimately we just don't recover from that as a business. So so ordering a new all-wheel drive car alleviates two issues regarding that. Number one, it's all-wheel drive, so I'm not too worried about snowy conditions. Number two, a new reliable vehicle that's got a warranty in that. My car has 110,000 miles on it, and it's not by any stretch unreliable, but it is an early VIN car. I've had a few problems with it, and every time I have an issue with it, I either lose a day off of work while I bring it in for service and they give me a loaner, or I have to drive. The nearest service center is 45 minutes away from me. I've got to drive there to drop it off, get a loaner, which for a personal car, like on your day off, isn't that big a deal. For a business vehicle, it's a big deal. I need a car that I can get in and use it. And so for my business, I've always had a business budget of right around $1,000 a month. $900 a month technically is what the budget is, but with a small variance there. So up to about $1,000 a month for a vehicle. I drive 40,000 miles a year, and once by the time I pay off a car, it's pretty worn out. It's got a couple 100,000 miles on it. The car that I had previous to my Model 3 was a Ford C-Max hybrid, similar to this one. Not this car. This is a 2017. That was a 2013. And it had 200,000 miles on it by the time it was paid off, and it was pretty well worn out. My adult son owns it now, and he just commutes locally with it, but I don't know that I would trust it long term, or long distance, I should say. So in buying my Model 3, I was hoping to put a couple 100,000 miles on it before I traded it in, but a lot has changed. Number one, my business has grown. I now have an employee. In fact, this is a car that the business purchased for him to use. He just moved into a house yesterday, though. Congratulations, Jeremy. I was off yesterday helping him move in, but so I'm using this car today, and the main reason I'm using this car, and then he's got his own car and I can keep using this one, is that my trade offer is good for 30 days or 1,000 miles of driving. So I'm keeping the miles off my Model 3 so that I can still trade it in when my new car comes. So now that explains why I'm getting a car and all-wheel drive, but that doesn't explain why I'm getting a performance car. So many of you will wonder, well, why not just, oh, there's a Model 3. Why not just get a long-range all-wheel drive car? Well, a couple things. One is just performance. And then you'll say, well, just, buy the performance boost. Because after all, people keep hearing that the standard long-range car with the performance boost is just as fast as a performance Model 3. That's not true. If you watch the YouTube videos on it, a long-range all-wheel drive car versus the performance Model 3, the performance 3 leaps ahead by several car lengths, and then at about 60 or 70 miles an hour, they end up at about the same speed, and somewhere between like 90 and about 120, the standard all-wheel drive car will actually start to gain on the performance car just a little bit. And that's mainly because of less rolling resistance from the tires, I think. And then ultimately, the performance car has more top speed. So people will argue there's even a tiny bit of performance advantage with the standard all-wheel drive car, long range, with the performance boost from about 80 or 90 miles an hour up to about 120 or 130. Well, a couple things. First off, I never go that speed. So that's a moot point. Secondly, in my area, the dig from a stop, if you really want a performance car, in my area, it's the 0 to 60 is everything. And so I've never had a super fast car. We do have our BMW. Its 0 to 60 time is 4.4 seconds, which is great. And I love that car. But by the time I would buy a long-range all-wheel drive car and pay the $2,000 for the performance boost, I'm only a few $1,000s away from a performance car anyway. Also, I've had people say to me, well, but the performance car is lowered, so there's not much ground clearance, and it's got 20-inch wheels, which are easy to bend and on a pothole, and you know, all that. Well, first off, I would do that work to the car anyway. If you're familiar with my current car, I've got 20-inch wheels and tires on it, and I've lowered it an inch. Tesla only lowers the performance car a ½ inch, I believe it is, about 12 millimeters. I've lowered my car a full inch, or about 25 millimeters. And I've put a carbon lip spoiler on the trunk lid. My car looks like a Performance 3. That's my taste. And if you've driven these cars, you lower a Model 3 and put 20-inch wheels and tires on it with the low sidewall, they corner real tight, really, really nice. And that is the feel in a car that I prefer, and it's the look that I prefer. So if I'm already going to spend in excess of $50,000 on a car, I'm going to spend the extra few thousand and get the car the way I want it. Also, Tesla frowns on when you trade in a car, they frown on suspension mods and upholstery, aftermarket upholstery, and that it actually reduces the value of the car slightly. And since I drive so many miles, I drive about 40,000 miles a year, I'm going to be trading the car in every 2 to 4 years, depending on various things. So I may as well keep the car as stock as possible. I'll probably put a carbon dash panel on it, obviously my Atlas adjustable screen mount, but I don't think I'm going to do any other work to the car. I'll tint the windows. I don't know. Maybe I'll put different 20-inch wheels on it and have one set for snow tires and one for summer tire. I don't know. But I'm not going to be doing a lot of modifications to the car. The performance car is already built the way I want. I also like the software that the performance car comes with, and you've got track mode, and they've done a number of things to the performance car that the standard all-wheel drive car doesn't have. Lastly, I have a bunch of friends that own all-wheel drive non-performance Model 3s. I only know one person that used to have a performance Model 3 but doesn't currently still have it. And hi, Adam. But I know a bunch of people with non-performance 3s, and so it just makes mine a little bit different, I guess. So those are all the reasons. Also, I got white again, mainly because for service work, I want to show up. It's strange enough to show up in a sports car in a Tesla. So the last thing I want to do is show up in a bright red, performance car. I'd rather just show up in a neutral color car. Part of me wanted a different color just so I don't look outside and feel like, oh, I've got the same car. It would have been nice to get red or something, but I do love the white. That's actually my favorite color for that body shape. So those are the reasons. So I got I got a white all-wheel drive performance Model 3 with black interior. I did not purchase full self-driving, and I'll do a separate video on why that is another time. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I will keep you guys apprised of the order process as I go to take delivery of the car. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below. And as always, stay charged. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.